You're busy, you've got a decent practice, but nobody wants to be decent. You want to be great, and you want to have a great practice. So how did the most productive, profitable dentist in the nation balance real life, work, and profits, and somehow make it all seem fun? Well, it comes down to simple, everyday practices. So grab a lunch, join us as we chat with top clinicians and influencers to discover their formula for uncommon success. Are you ready? Then it's time to explore everyday practices with Vicki McManus-Peterson and Dr. Chad Johnson.
Oh my goodness. That means it's a good day. It's
Birthday
a good day.
Yeah.
It's
a very special day.
Well,
Gosh.
and funny enough too, sometimes it's a good election and sometimes it's a bad election, but like our birthday falls on elections sometimes, so that can be.
Oh, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
I didn't think about
Makes
that.
it a little exciting.
It can be. It's like if your birthday was like on a World Series Game 7, it's like you could actually be really happy for the team that you're rooting for, or it could be the worst day. I mean, whatever,
Yeah.
This is actually it's a really special, wow, what a tangible thing to talk about, because I was looking at Will's site trying to get to know you before we had you on as a guest, and I thought, man, this doesn't feel very dentistry, like where my mind was going. So I try to get a picture of the person, and I read your about us, and you talk about your travel and your mission trips, and how life is so short, you might as well see it with the glass half full. And I paired it with your partner Kyle's core values of integrity, fairness, friendship, respect, compassion. And I was like, gee, these docs you're going to be fascinating to talk to today, because it sounds to me like you've put a lot of stock into the value of your life, the quality of the life that you have while you're here. So congratulations on Miss MMA. And that's kind of the most tangible example I could think of that.
Yeah, no, we're my partner, actually, he had twins not that long ago, and now he's expecting another baby in January. So
Wow.
My partner and I have lots of babies coming, so that's kind of an exciting time.
I guess so.
I finished school in 2013, so I've been out for about 6 years, and I think one of the qualities that I saw in Chad when we were both in the Masters series down in Miami with Dr. Garg and the International Implant Association is just his ability to develop relationships, whether, you're taking CE or you're in a mission trip or you're just, at your practice. Having that gift or that ability to develop relationships on the spot was something that, I could definitely see in Chad. My wife definitely was able to see that. And, Chad, I think I've only hung out with you, was it just that those few times down in Miami, but yet it's like we still kept in touch. Yeah, so I think that's really the key to dentistry, is if you can develop relationships with either your patients, your coworkers, people you're serving, that's how you can create, long-lasting success within dentistry, in my opinion.
Right. So tell me, when in your practice, it's just so people know and whatnot, since we're kind of just hopping into it, you're in Watertown, Wisconsin.
Yep.
And then are you originally from there?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough, my dad practiced in Watertown, and then when it was time for him to retire, I was only a year or two out of school, and I just didn't have the skill set or the desire to take the entire practice over myself. And looking back, I'm really glad with the decision that I made, because trying to have to hire a dentist, to be an associate in that, where I was able to get Kyle in there, and we're 50-50 partners, and it's worked out really well because, we each have skin in the game. So it's not so much where you're constantly worrying about an associate either, keeping them on board or leaving, but it's too big of a practice for one doctor. So I'm really happy with the decision that I made.
Yeah. Tell me, how many days a week are you working? What's that look like? What's your schedule look like?
So we work Monday from 8 until 7, Tuesday from 8 to 5, Wednesday 8 to 6, Thursday 8 to 5, and then we rotate Fridays. And we're only open till noon. So we each get, a Friday off every other week, and then the one Friday we do work is only until noon. So it works out pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you and I met with Dr. Garg's implant seminars. So, but tell me, like, what's been your latest CE fix, or are you still doing implant stuff? I mean, what else are you learning about lately?
Yeah, so I guess the newest CE that I just did was an IV sedation residency with Corey Pickens and the ADMA.
Nice.
And that was really a really nice course where I really enjoy wisdom teeth and oral surgery, but there's just so many people that, to make them comfortable, you just can't do the procedure, where being able to do the IV sedation has just opened up so many patients that have just kind of come out from the woodwork, where it's like, I've never seen a dentist for 20 years, and I'm here because I know that you can sedate me. And it's like, it's a great opportunity to get a whole new patient base, if that makes sense.
And if anyone wants to check that out, admatraining.org. It's the Academy of Dental and Medical Anesthesia. And I didn't know that, but thanks, Google.
Yeah, and Corey Pickens, who kind of is the head of it, he's an actual board-certified general anesthesiologist.
Okay.
And I would highly recommend him as a teacher.
I've been wanting to do this. I'm glad you let me know.
Yeah, he's very good at teaching, but I think that he definitely, safety is kind of his number one thing.
Right.
And so with that, it is a little bit different than I think what the oral surgeons are doing, because this is mainly what they call a moderate sedation permit.
Right.
So mostly midazolam fentanyl combination to kind of get people to where they're super relaxed. Most people's eyes are closed, but yet they're still they can still talk to you if you would need to wake them up, or if you would need to ask them a question, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It does. Where is the training done?
So they've got them in multiple different locations. I went to Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
Which it was a good course. One thing just to think about though is apparently Dayton, Ohio has the number one opioid addiction. So
yes.
There were many drug seekers that were coming in. So it made the IV placement kind of difficult with that. And I don't know if another location will be better, but it was
well,
still
it's
a great
good to know.
opportunity. And yeah, so it was the hardest part for me was doing the IVs. But once you get the IV in, it's much more comfortable when you have a comfortable patient, if that makes sense.
Regan, I apologize because I'm basically hogging because Will and I haven't talked for a long time. And so I'm just wanting to catch up basically. What we should have done is have some catch up time before we went back into our conversation, because it's been a while since we've been able to talk. So my apologies for that.
I think this is gold, and I'm in deep listening mode.
Good.
So I'm kind of nerding out here a little bit. So
okay.
I think it's great.
Well, I want you to be able to jump in on topic number 2, but I'm going to throw him a curveball here. But so you can talk about some of the business stuff, for his practice and even some of the marketing, whatever they do, and some of his brand awareness and everything from his website. But Will, here's my question. So enough of the boring dentistry stuff. Life is new with you now, with your daughter Emma just being born today and sharing my birthday. So tell me, what are your initial thoughts? Here you are and you're a new dad. The life perspective is going to change, but it already is kind of flourishing. And that have you cried today?
Yes, absolutely.
I know. Isn't that crazy? And it's funny,
Yeah.
I'm not a crier, but when you've got stuff like the babies and stuff like that, all of a sudden then just your guard is down and you're crying about stuff and you're just why am I crying about this?
Yeah, no, I was right there the whole labor, and it was the coolest experience of my life, I think.
That is so cool. So when you're holding her, what are you thinking?
Well, in all honesty, every time I go on Facebook, I don't know if you get targeted marketing ads on dentistry, but I get all this marketing where it's saying retire as soon as you can, don't practice dentistry super long. It's like, I don't know if you're getting those type of ads targeted to you.
No,
But
actually.
I don't know what it is, but every time I go on Facebook, I'm seeing all these ads about people not wanting to do dentistry. And when I look at Emma, it makes me think about, my life and raising her and being able to take care of her. So in a way, I do somewhat think of that retirement. But then I go back to the fact that I absolutely love dentistry, and I really don't want to necessarily retire early. Obviously, I want to plan for retirement.
Yes.
But I feel like, I don't know if it's just our profession or what's going on, but this idea that we need to all retire super early and, it's all about the bottom line. Like, don't get me wrong, we definitely need to retire and that, but I don't know. I love dentistry. So for me, it's more about the ride, if that makes sense.
Right.
It sounds to me too like you're discussing freedom of choice. The word retirement feels so black and white to me. Yeah, like all of a sudden you're out of dentistry entirely, and
I'll work at Walmart. Yeah.
Right. But you went to you invested a lot of time to be able to serve people in this way, and so do you believe that there's a healthy balance to be had? Can you have your cake and eat it too? Can you have your travel and your experiences with your family and balance it out?
Yeah, I think that's really the key to the whole equation. But seeing my father practice for over 40 years, when he did retire, I was a little concerned because he loved dentistry a lot as well. And I was a little nervous kind of how he would roll into retirement. But I think the fact that he did enjoy his profession for so long, it made retirement all the sweeter, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Something that you'll start thinking about too is how many days a year are you working now with a family?
Exactly.
Because you've been able to pound out, it's just like, no, I'm just working and stuff. But now you'll start thinking, well, I suppose I should block off some time for, the family. Not to say that you haven't, but that's kind of where I started going after the kids were born.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because that's definitely a conversation my wife and I have had. We've always tried to do like a week in winter and then a week in summer, just to kind of, not think about work and just take time for ourselves. But it does make me question, because we are definitely doing the churn and burn right now.
Right.
And I think there is a time at which, that pace, you can only keep that up for so long. And at some point, I probably want to take an afternoon off and spend some more time, with the family, or just doing something outside of dentistry.
I don't know if this is just dude talk, but I'll just say, like, as a guy, in the typical family role and stuff like that. So whether listeners fit into this, that could be argued forever. So just take it or leave it. Okay. But like, for me, when Gabe was born and he's 10 years old now, it wasn't just like, well, I'm just going to start taking off a ton of time to hang out with a 1-month-old. There was that, but I mean, a 1-month-old is fun and all, but it's also like the baby's just a bump on the log, so, like, as opposed to,
I have heard other men say that.
Yeah. Like, they're cute. So it's not that I'm putting down Gabe when he's 1 month old, but like, what am I going to do? To throw the football with him, take him skiing, go to the library and some people are like, of course I'd take him to the library and read. We read to him. He's a good reader. Don't get me wrong. Okay. So like, I'm more like, yeah, like I'm getting myself into trouble here, but like at the same time, Will, all I'm saying is like, it's not like you immediately have to figure out how to not churn and burn, because, for the next couple years even, but all of a sudden when she's off to daycare, let's just say, or something like that, you'll have this urge to want to be like, well, I kind of want to take her out to lunch, or I want to go pick her up. And it's a lot of fun to be able to occasionally block off time to make that happen, or crazy enough, make it happen all the time.
Yeah. Well, and another concept too that I've really been focusing on is, now that, being out a little over 6 years, I feel like I've really harnessed kind of the clinical skills of the different procedure mix that I want to offer.
Yes.
And it's really made me want to, and I think my partner as well, kind of really look at our team and our team dynamics, and the time that we are working together, utilizing it to the best of our abilities, just like you guys always talk about. being able to delegate, and
Yes.
really working that team, because that's something they don't really teach you in dental school. They don't
No,
teach
of
you how to
course
be a leader, and we've been reading a lot of books. One of
Look
them
at
that our
that.
team has spent a lot of time on is the 5 dysfunctions of a team. That was a great one. Otherwise, Good to Great. That one really, I think, helped me realize just the humility a leader needs to have in order to properly lead and kind of take things away from yourself and really give it back to the team in order to do what's best for the practice, if that makes sense.
You know what's cool? Over 50 episodes, and well, we haven't always asked this, don't get me wrong, but I think you're the first guy to bring up one of your favorite books before we've asked about it. So that's kind of cool. You get like a free chicken dinner or something. I don't know, some free Culvers.
Awesome, cool. They got Culvers down in Iowa?
Yeah, I just thought I'd bond with you. Look how I built that relationship right there. I mean, I knew that Culver's is a Wisconsin thing, and I love y'all's cheese curds.
That's right.
Heck yeah.
Right.
And if I want to be fancy, I won't just have a butter burger with bacon on it, which is tough to say to the person ordering, like a double butter burger with bacon.
What's a butter burger? Butter burger sounds like from heaven.
It is, and they cook it in butter, like a butter grease, like on the grill. So
I want a butter burger.
yes, it's really good. But like I said, the fancy thing is to get the North Cod planks, and then I feel like I'm like eating healthy, which is not true. But when you're wanting to eat at Culver's, but also like be responsible, like I'll get fish. It'll be kind of a dinner option, and it comes with broccoli or something like that. Like I feel like like I'm.
And then I'll have
really...
my 3,400 calorie butter burger.
No, well, I've never tried doing both, but it's kind of like my lunch option, the dinner option.
Well, I think at the beginning of our conversation, I know I jumped into this podcast today, and Will, what I was talking about was going through and doing my little detective work, not having met you, and seeing what you're about. And I like to look and check and see what the online reputation is, and all of those pieces. And there's marketing pieces that we could certainly talk about today. But I was really touched by your personal statement of believing in doing missions and travel, and you struck me as community-minded doctor. And how long have you practiced where you're located at now?
Since 2013.
Oh yeah, so that's still, to me, that's new. You should be. I have a general question for both you and Chad. Shouldn't you be churning and burning a little bit for the first decade? I mean, isn't that about getting that experience in? And that's when most docs are having their families too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you, in relation of having kids, soon you will be in the PTA realm and the school realm. Have you done any community type events in the 6 years that you've been in practice there?
Oh, for sure. The Rotary Club is pretty active in Watertown, and that's kind of the service organization that I like to be involved with. But I've tried to partner with multiple different businesses, even the school district, and really try to get involved in the community, because in all reality, I mean, if you're not active in the community, I don't think it's as fun being a dentist unless you're really involved. Now, some people take a different approach where they want to live in a different city than the city that they work, if that makes sense. But I don't know. I absolutely love being able to go to the golf course and see many of my patients, and that doesn't bother me. And I think that's kind of a personality type thing.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I had a dentist that was very, he was my childhood dentist. He was exceptional, and he would get a little bit awkward if I ran into him at the fitness center. He was a little bit shy. Yeah. More like, oh, hi, Reagan. And he would just kind of, go away. Whereas my other healthcare providers were, more engaging. And so I do think there's a personality to that. But you said, do you feel like it's benefited your practice? It's not marketing in the traditional sense, but it definitely is a form of marketing, being out in the community.
Yeah, I think you gotta give back. And in my opinion, if you're giving back to the community, it will come back, and it may not come back immediately in the exact same or for same fashion monetarily or something that you can necessarily measure. But I think that if you're giving back to the community, it will come back to you in some way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. It definitely does. What kind of do you do? So you do mission trips abroad. Chad and I just came back from the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first mission trip there. Was it your first one too? I think you said it was, Chad.
In the Dominican, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was an eye opener for me. Do you do things locally within your community and then also trips like the Dominican Republic?
Yeah, we're looking at doing some more local missionary work, and the reason why is because I went to Guatemala 2 times and then the Dominican Republic 2 times, and my wife and I really loved doing that. But with the whole Zika situation and with us, having a kid, it kind of put a hold on that because the doctors are kind of just like, hey, we really don't advise you going to Zika places, and if you do, then you got to get this extra testing. So we kind of just took a break over the last couple of years, but I'm really getting an itch to go back down to South America because the group that I went down there with, Tommy Murph's extraction group, they're a really great group, and they put up billboards where they just get, lines of hundreds of people that all just want extractions, and it's great. A great service for the people of the Guatemala, but it's also just a great opportunity to serve people and give back.
Well, we're just going to have to bring that to Iceland.
There you go. Have you been to Iceland?
Fun one.
I've never been to Iceland, but there's no Zika there.
You would love it. You would love it.
Have you been?
Oh yeah, I've been. I was there last year.
Very cool. That's definitely on my list. So tell me, with your business partner, what's it like working with Dr. Kyle? How's it working? Like, has he bought into the office? Is he an associate that's working for you? What's that look like?
So we are both 50-50 partners.
Okay.
So he's fully bought in,
Yep.
and it's going really well. And it's funny you ask because it's a partnership. It really is like a marriage. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
really got to be careful. And we did personality assessments before we both bought in, and we really tried to do all of our research. But at the end of the day, like, you think you might know, but you really don't know until it's like you're a year in and you're really figuring each other out. And we've really have similar personalities, and I think we both kind of got lucky because I couldn't ask for a better partner. He and I work really well together, and I'm just glad that it worked out as well as it has.
Very cool. Well,
I'm glad that
I'm happy for you. I mean, yeah, Reagan, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm glad that you underlined that, Chad, because a lot of dentists go straight into it. And you said something at the beginning, Will, that really excited me. And it was, you would have been kind of in over your head. And so you knew you didn't want to take all that on at once. So to have that foresight and say, whoa, I'm gonna pull in an associate and we're gonna become partners and figure this out together. I think it set you up for a lot less heartache from your perspective, like you were saying. So you didn't push yourself to burn out, sooner than you needed to. For lack of.
Well, and I think you got to look at your area too. So Watertown is a blue collar community, and the income level is not super high. I'd say the average income is probably somewhere around $40,000 or $50,000. So to get a dentist into our community isn't necessarily the easiest. And I saw that as my dad had associates work for him, that was kind of a big struggle. Regardless of how the economy was doing, it was always just a difficult area to bring dentists. So I didn't want to have to go through that struggle, if that makes sense. Yeah,
of course. Well, hey, here's I want you to get back to little baby and mama too. So I have one silly question that maybe you've heard on our podcast before. So you get to pick one or the other.
Bacon.
Oh, it's bacon.
He knew.
Well, there you have it. I mean, Wisconsin people, are they 100% bacon, or do you think a few odd eggs are eggs?
It's funny because my wife is super health conscious.
Yes.
And I'm going to tick a lot of Wisconsin people off by saying this, but you can even do turkey bacon. I'll eat it. It it can be turkey bacon.
You know, my wife started using the turkey bacon stuff too, and I told her, just don't tell me, and I'll eat it. It's, you know, it's just something crunchy and good. You know, so yeah,
Can you tell? Do you eat it?
Oh,
Chad?
no, yeah, you can tell. Yeah, but I just roll with it. I just want something crunchy on my burger or what, you know, on my butter burger.
There you go.
All right, Will. Well, thanks for joining up. You get back with your family and enjoy some cuddle time, buddy.
Bring your lunch or take us to the gym again next week to improve your everyday practices. Also, subscribe on iTunes, follow us on social media, and sign up for our email list. Now get out there and win with everyday practices.